Oh my God. 3-0 to these guys. To these guys. Those useless guys that are in ninth position in Serie A. Really, Inter? Really? Oh my God, guys. I don't know why you're here. I don't know why I'm here, but we're here. So we might as well talk about this. 0-3 destruction by Milan of Inter, destroying Inter's treble dream. The treble dream, guys. There was some of you. I wasn't one of them, and I'm not gonna be the guy to say I told you so because I think that's whack. That's lame when people do at the time. I told you so when it comes to being negative, being a negative Nancy. I was not a believer in the treble dream, but there is the three fingers goes down to two. I know, yes, there's the Club World Cup in there, so technically still the treble dream, blah blah blah, whatever. But in terms of the important trophies of this season, um, there's two now. We're down to two. But am I losing sleep over it? I'm not happy about it, but am I losing sleep over this? No. I'll be real. You guys know this. Did not care about this game. The only reason I cared, and I think it's about a 50, maybe 60-40 split on this one, but I think slightly more of the majority of the fan base really did not care about this game. The only reason we cared is for pride. And I mean, at least I was hoping to lose a bit of it, a bit of pride. I mean, take it to. I mean, actually, extra time would have been even. It would have been worse in terms of our energy and all that shit. But at least lose with some pride. I would have wanted that, not this. I would have wanted to go out with our chins up. But now, guys, time this. In how many minutes, bloody Jamie Abraham is probably going to post on his Instagram. Ooh, Milano is red. Rafael Leao is gonna post some rap song with something stupid, some rap quote or something. Luka Jovic in 2025 is gonna be all gassed up. Um, there's even a Luka Jovic fan account on Twitter who's who's gonna be brought out of the blue. The most ridiculous fan account I've ever seen. I've never seen someone being a fan account for a player like Luka Jovic, but we made him look like Marco van Basten and Andriy Shevchenko put together tonight, as usual. Um, wow, that's embarrassing. That is really, really embarrassing. I predicted a draw in my preview. You guys watched it, and I thought we might sneak it, in extra time or penalties or something like that. Or did I say we lose it? I can't remember now. I think I said we win it on the penalties, but it was nowhere near that. We got absolutely killed and destroyed, and it was similar uh, script to the usual Milan derbies this season. Apart from actually this time we actually created nothing. We created a little bit in the first half. Maybe we should have even been ahead in the first half, but afterwards it was just as Alex says, sleepy, boring, and then Milan every time they counterattack, they almost scored pretty much every single time. So it was similar script to most of the times, but this time we actually got destroyed. So it ended up being a little bit different. But the first half looked like every single other game we played against Milan. We dominated possession. Well, I think it was about 50-50 in terms of possession, but we controlled the play. We had the better chances, better chance creation, better, football in general. But nothing at the end of it. Nothing. No spunk at the end. And then Milan, first chance they create, goal, and then after that we just look absolutely finished. We saw that even in the Bologna. Even I didn't watch the full Bologna game. I saw how knackered and tired the players looked today. They looked just as, if not even more tired. And if we're not careful, guys, this treble dream, we said it since the start of the season, it's the way into this is the double-edged sword of what this season. We either can win everything or literally end up with nothing. Like literally, Milan in their Banter era season could end up having a better season than us guys in terms of trophies. They have already a Super Coppa on our head, so they already have that on our head. They dunked on us already on that, which is a half trophy account. And I'm not saying that just because Milan beat us to it. You know, I even for Inter, I count the Supercoppa as a half trophy. But if they win a Coppa Italia against Bologna, which is very possible, they end up with 2 or 1.5. And imagine we end up on 0. We go from having one of the best seasons since the treble era to one of the most embarrassing seasons since the Banta era. Oh, and the margins are so thin. The margins are so thin. You saw that, guys. We went from the dream of the 3 to 2 so quickly in the space of 45 minutes. And if we're not careful in the Serie A against Roma at the weekend now, the rescheduled game for Sunday could end up becoming 1 very quickly. And you know, this is not the finger I wanted to raise up. You guys know which finger I would raise up if we lose the Scudetto and we end up with just Champions League to play for, which is obviously the most difficult one out of all, is the Champions League. So it would be a very flimsy 1 finger left. My God, my God. I'm not going to be on for long, guys. Not because we lost, just because I'm not actually feeling that great. I was just thinking of not coming on to speak to you guys, but I thought I already missed the Bologna game, so I don't want to be the guy that just comes on when we win. Lucas in the house, what's up, brother? Thank you for the support. As always, deeply disappointed. It must be a R word to play Aslani and Taremi from now on. I mean, Aslani, let's give him some little bit of credit where it's due. He was decent today, Aslani, especially in terms of his tackling and his defensive side of things. But Taremi, brother, oh my goodness. Some people blamed me and attacked me in my post-match reaction to Bologna yesterday because I started the video with Taremi. His miss, which I think wouldn't have counted anyway. But I didn't watch the game, but I just saw the still image of Taremi's miss. So I decided to start the video yesterday with that. And a few people attacked me saying, "Well, why are you picking on Taremi? Why you do that? Oh, he's got, he's been injured, and what was he supposed to do?" He is literally just becoming a meme in front of our eyes, guys. He is absolutely getting to that level, even if it's a free transfer, guys. A free transfer being said by many Interista, this could be one of our worst signings ever. Pound for pound, if you ignore the transfer fee just as a signing. Imagine we had the likes of like Darko Pansev, Dalbert, Gabigol. Imagine these Jean Mario. Imagine these are all free transfers. Correa. Like, let's forget what we signed them for. They're all free transfers like Taremi. Then rank them. Taremi is really, really pushing his candidacy for becoming that level of a flop signing, and I'm really disappointed in him. I like the player, I like the signing, but this guy is honestly not providing anything. If anything, he's actually being counterproductive every time he's on the pitch. Every time he touches the ball or every time he's in the box, the move dies or nothing comes out of it. It's really angering watching Taremi play at the moment. He's got no confidence. The shirt is too heavy for him. I do feel bad for him in some ways because of all, apparently he's been injured all season, but at the same time, brother, we are Inter. We cannot have this. We cannot be having this. He is today. I don't know if he was booed off or not. Someone from the stadium, let me know if someone was at the stadium. Let me know. But I feel like that was the type of performance that probably got you booed at the stadium, at the San Siro. The quality difference, yeah, it is really big. It is really big. But at the same time, Lucas, I in the preview, I was surprised. The predicted lineups yesterday were way stronger than what Inzaghi put out today. They had way stronger. They had Correa instead of Taremi. Ooh. But they had Hakan starting as well. They had Pavard starting. So actually, Inzaghi, and I agreed with Inzaghi, to be honest, Lucas, today. Yeah, you had to rotate a little bit. You can't keep playing the same guys. You saw them against Bologna. And Correa and Taremi, as I said, 2 cheeks of the same ass. Who would you play? I can't tell you who should play or not. it is what it is, and that's how it is. Awful. Worst performance I ever seen. Everyone's bad. I think we've seen a few of those Fusion God. Let's be real. This season there has been a few off the top of my head. The Juve loss, that was pretty bad. The Fiorentina one, that was probably the worst performance of the season, guys. Fiorentina loss because we only had to play 75 minutes. That was atrocious, abhorrent, a disgrace. And then there's been others as well. There's been others. Definitely, this has been one of those seasons where, yeah, most of the season, really, to be honest, guys, Inter have been shining. We've just been getting through games with our quality and our style of play sometimes. But to be honest, yeah, it's been one of those seasons. There's a few bad performances I can remember off the top of my head. Starting to get sick of Inzaghi. Smiley says. Inzaghi has his things to be asked about as well, to be questioned for sure today. The fact that you get embarrassed like that, as Julian says, that in terms of results, this is probably actually, yeah, in terms of results, Fusion God, this might be the worst because Fiorentina actually, yeah, Inter under Inzaghi, we don't lose with more than two. What's up, Mattia, man? Hope you're doing well. Your cousin, put some middle fingers to Jovic, Mattia Jovic, because his cousin, it's not really his cousin, but you know, same surname. Put some middle finger emojis to Mattia in the corner. No, I'm joking. Don't do that. Yeah, you did the right decision, Mattia, to turn off the TV after the first goal. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, we don't really lose by more than 2 goals under Inzaghi. So the Fiorentina one was already the record, lost 3-0, but 3-0 to Milan, to this Milan, 9th place Milan. As a result, this is probably the worst in the Inzaghi era. Not as like the meaning of the game, again, with it's a semi-final, so yeah, it is quite important, but yeah, maybe we're not losing sleep over this, but it is Milan. It's a Milan derby di Milano, derby della Madonnina. Pride at stake, city ownership at stake. We've lost. We haven't beat these guys all season. So this actually, as in the Inzaghi era, might go down as the worst result, just as a one-off match result. 3-0, 4-1 on aggregate to Milan, to this Milan. Not good. Not good at all. And these guys, man, Milan, like now I know what Milanisti feel like. Last year, last 2 years before, we were smashing these guys. What was it, 6 wins in a row, and then we won the Scudetto, the Seconda Stella, right above me, right in front of their face. Vinta in faccia, non c'è rivincita. There's no revenge, but they are getting their revenge this season. They really are getting their revenge. Not enough to cancel out what we did last season, but they really are getting their revenge, and I can see what their Milanisti were feeling for all these years. With that result, we might as well rested all the first team. Yeah, I mean, you guys know me. I wanted the Primavera today. I wanted Berenbrook in midfield. I wanted De Pieri. I wanted Topalovic. I wanted Aidu. I wanted, Alexeo. And all the Primavera boys. Just, I did not care about today's game. But Inzaghi and the players wanted to go for it. There you go. And there is Eduardo. Yes, Sassuolo mid-table all over again. We had Bologna. We have 3 super confirmed bogey teams. Obviously, we know Sassuolo. They weren't there this season. They're coming back next year. Bologna confirmed bogey team, and then we knew already there was no need for confirmation that this Milan team, for some reason, especially under Conceição, even under Fonseca actually, but even especially under Conceição, have become our bogey team. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy to think that how we were doing against these guys before and how we're doing now. Yeah, I mean, in the league, you guys know me. I don't think Napoli are going to win all their games, but then our Inter probably not. It's really going to be who holds the nerve more and who F's up the least. That's going to be the Scudetto winner. 3 losses, 2 draws against AC. Yeah, it's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. 100% Mattia. It's just one of those years against Milan. Yeah, Otlo. It is. I will take, to be honest, if someone said to me, if you have 2 years against Milan, like we had before, where we were smashing them left, right, and center, kick them out Champions League, win a Scudetto in the face, and then you have 1 year off against them, I'll probably take that. If you look at our history, the Milan derby kind of goes in cycles like that. It is what it is. What annoys me though is that it's the Milan team that's in ninth. Like, when we were shy, in the Allegri with Scudetto winning season, they weren't taking pity on us. They were smashing us. So when we are superior to them, which we are far superior to them as the league and Champions League and all metrics prove over the last 4 or 5 years, it's annoying that we're not smashing them in the low moments like they are right now. And again, they could end up having a better trophy season than us, which is will add insult to injury. Oh yeah, and as Mattia reminded you guys, please guys, leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Inzaghi knew the game was done after the second, that's why he made 4 subs, including Barella. Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, Eduardo, that seemed like he was also going for it. Inzaghi making a quadruple substitution, showing that he wasn't happy with what we were seeing. Yes, Barella came off, but did Barella have a good game? Not really. I think the only guy we can save really today is, bringing Hakan on. That's not really resting, is it, Eduardo? He's bringing on the big guns in terms of Hakan coming on. Arnautovic is the form guy. Zalewski, as usual, provided some much-needed energy and dribbling when he came on. He definitely tried, and then at the end he brought Correa on to try, have 3 strikers. So Inzaghi definitely didn't give up on it with those substitutions, Eduardo. But at least, we had a little bit of rest for Barella. But yeah, if the only guy I would save today, pretty much, is Bisek. Bisek had a great game against Leao. Even tried to get forward and tried to be dangerous on the other side. 14 defensive actions, 5 recoveries, 2 interception. He was solid. He does really match up well against Leao. I think now, in future, you've seen in these derbies, maybe he is the guy we should continue playing against Leao. He did really well. Maybe he was at fault for the Reinders goal a little bit. But apart from that, really solid game from Jan Bisek. Good recovery from his mistake against Bologna. Maybe he's just a player that plays better when he starts, right? Yeah, no, 100%, Misto. I agree. Lab Gorilla, enjoy yourself, buddy. Enjoy yourself. You did say that you were gonna beat us, so fair play. You predicted it. I don't know if you're trolling, but you actually did predict it, so fair play to you. Yes, Stanislav, pain, just pain, and yeah, we are totally dependent. Without Thuram, guys, this team, I think Thuram is our most important player this year. The games without Thuram, you saw against Bologna, like without his physicality, his pace, his dribbling, just the way he occupies defenders, just even when he's half fit, the way he can stretch the opposition defense, he's way too important for us. That is why it's really important in the summer, and it was important this summer already, but we need players that can provide what Thuram provides when he's not there, because Lautaro definitely can't do that, and he's looking tired, of course. Taremi obviously can't do anything. Correa is just a grill master. He's just a barbecue guy. Arnautovic has picked up form recently, but again, completely different type of characteristics. Yeah, we can't do without Thuram. Marcus Thuram this season, like Lautaro was last year, the MVP, probably is Marcus Thuram. Not maybe in terms of consistency and performance, but just having Marcus Thuram in the team makes all the difference. Even when he's 60-70% fit, if Marcus Thuram is 60-70% fit, you just have to start him. What's up, Mo Shakil? Chasing the pipe dream, that was the trouble. Could result in 0 titoli. Inzaghi. Yeah, we know, we talk about it on the channel. Some people call people like us losers because we think that we should prioritize certain competitions and um, basically brick so certain competitions, get out of certain competitions. But I've watched this team and I think it's just not ready to compete on so many fronts. And I thought Inzaghi and the players would know that. I thought Inzaghi and the coaching staff would know that, especially with the physical capabilities of this team, which are not that great. But at the same time, I'm very conflicted about this. I know as a big club at Inter, you got to fight for everything. You can't be discounting anything or getting out of competitions on purpose because you are Inter. You want to win everything. I appreciate that mentality. That's a winner mentality. But it's a winner mentality only if you win it. I think it's also winner mentality, understanding, being smart, what you can win, what energies you can allocate to certain things, resource allocation, and going all in for what you prioritize. Um, so here we are. And but I do think now 2 competitions is doable. I mean, at the end of the day, now it's not that much of a difference. It would have been one more game for Inter, the Coppa Italia final, but it sounds like it's not much, but one big game in between other games, other big games, lots of mental, physical, emotional energy would have been going into that final against Bologna, regardless of the result. Um, one less game, one less thing to worry about. I think that's that. And then we see how we do in the Champions League. But my priority remains that Scudetto for sure now. The team has to know we have to win. Yeah, there is Filippo. Bang on time, Filippo. The team has to know we have to win the Scudetto. I hope this match helps with that. Yeah, I hope this is. We know this team sometimes need to kick up the culo. Now they got two. Both cheeks, both the culo cheeks got slapped up, kicked up. Bologna, Milan, Pam. Hopefully, they got some nice sore cheeks from these slappings, from these kickings. And that's what they need to finish up the season in the way that we need to. And hopefully Inzaghi as well, like, brother has to realize that he needs to, you know, there's, I'm not saying he has to play Primavera players, start Primavera players. Speaking of Primavera players, thank you, Gabri, as always, for the donation, the support. As I say, speaking of Primavera, because Gabri is one of the biggest Primavera merchants I know out there. But at a certain point, when you see, like we can see, guys, we have our eyes, and I'm sure Inzaghi has the same eyes, and he has eyes in the training ground and data of like how these guys are doing physically, mentally, and everything, to know that you can't keep putting out Mkhitaryan back to back 90s. And if Zielinski is missing, that means it doesn't mean that now Zielinski's out, you got 5 midfielders. This is what the Primavera is for. You bring in one guy to fill in. Like you fill the squad with these types of players too. Like the guys type like Berenbrook. And I'm not saying Berenbrook or these guys should be starting, but resource allocation, when you have these resources, when you have some interesting young talents, again, you don't need to start them, but if you can have them play some moments, 10, 15 minutes here and there, then they can start becoming useful more often. They start to understand the team mechanics and the style of play and all these types of things. And they come in and can help rest some guys when you need them. Because if that's the mentality that it's only the senior team players that you can play with, then with all these games these days, you're just handicapping yourself, Inzaghi. Let's be real. February, we lost 2 games out of 3, but we bounced back and went undefeated for 13 games. Yeah, we did have a bad start in February. So yeah, maybe. But again, Gabri, though, you have to put it into perspective. People bring up the triplete era, because we were losing. We were 1 point behind Roma that season at this point, and we came back. But you got to put into perspective how this team is looking at the moment. It's looking really, really gassed at the moment. They're looking really tired, and there's no respite. There's games every 3 days. We're going to get the extra 1 day rest now for the Roma game because the game has been rescheduled, but then we get 1 day less for the Barca game. So they're looking really, really tired, and I'm worried now. I am feeling worried about how we end this season if that's how they're looking. What kind of injury that makes you run deep instead of forward in counter attack? Lost today is not. Yeah, no, it's not. Again, I'm not blaming Taremi for the loss or blaming any individuals today. All round today, as I said, the only guy I'm saving today is Bisek. But the thing with Taremi is, shout out to Pata Podcast in the house as well. The thing with Taremi is, like in the Bologna game, it's like, okay, the starters, the main guys right now are clearly gassed, they're tired, they haven't got anything else. What can you guys that haven't given anything till now can you give? Like Luka Jovic, I mean, perfect example. Luka freaking Jovic, who has done F4 for Milan over the last few years, was decent for Fiorentina, but he manages to have the game of his life when Milan need him today. Tammy Abraham, massive goal to win the Super Coppa, remember? And then he scored against us the other last time we played them, or the previous time. It's these games, like it, and you don't even have to, like, Jovic today had an amazing game, like all around, like this guy was absolutely balling out. But it's these moments that we need. Like you see how Zalewski comes in for Busaiko. Agree. Like Zalewski comes in, just does his thing, tries his best, provides something positive. Frattesi last season was the best example of that. He was coming in. We know his weaknesses, we know his downfalls, but he was coming in, creating chaos, creating opportunities, scoring goals from the bench. This year we're lacking that. We're lacking that impact coming from the guys off the bench. And of course, we are missing Denzel, we're missing Zielinski, we're missing Thuram. But yeah, no, Milton. No, I actually did like him. Obviously, his age was not what we would have wanted, but this was even as Milton said, even from someone who didn't want him or didn't really like him, this is a real low, real low. Yeah, he fooled us all. Lautaro was really bad. I think Lautaro was trying. He was bad though, to be honest. But he was with Lautaro. I always find it hard to criticize him when at least he always puts his heart on the line and fights for the shirt. I will always appreciate that when it comes to Lauti. But yeah, definitely not a level of Lautaro that we expect. But then at the same time, he's been playing a lot and he does look tired. And now, especially without Thuram, he kind of had to carry that attack today. Taremi was still better than Correa. Yeah, no. Again, Gabriel. I think Taremi is probably better in terms of Correa, in terms of his pressing. But in terms of actual output out there on the pitch, I don't really see much difference between the two. I really don't, unfortunately. Please make a video, keep or sell video needless. Yeah, that's a good video idea. Thank you, Zeki. I'll probably do that. DiMarco doesn't deserve to start. It's been shocking. Yeah, DiMarco, apart from in the it was the Cagliari game where he got 2 assists when he came back off injury. Yeah, DiMarco's not been very good since he's come back from injury. Complete 180 from DiMarco start of the season, and then 2025 DiMarco has been like complete opposite. Oh, don't be like that, Zeki. Don't be like that. I still believe in the double. Well, yeah, I don't really believe in the double. I think this team can compete for a double, but I don't think. But I would. The double I thought was the Coppa Italia and Scudetto, not Scudetto and Champions League. So to me, answering Eduardo's another donation. Thank you very much, brother. Muchas gracias. Scudetto. Scudetto. 20 Scudetto. 2-1. 21. Scudetto. UCL, yes, keep that dream alive. Let's give Barca a run for their money. The high line, defensively, we can cook something. But, you know, in the last match, Barcelona had 40 shots or 41 shots in 90 minutes, guys. Obviously, they won't do that against Inter, but I'm just letting you know what type of monstrous satanic team we're playing against. Like those guys, I don't think I've ever seen a team play like that. I've seen teams play with a high line. I've seen teams play attacking. I've seen teams play gung ho football. But what Barca are doing under Hansi Flick this season is something I've never seen before. And if these players are looking like this, guys, if Di Marco is looking like this against Yamal, if you know, the midfield, Mkhitaryan looked absolutely finished today. Mkhitaryan's playing like this against Pedri or Barella, who, by the way, Barella was at fault for the second goal. Yeah, Barella's playing like that against Frankie de Jong. Oh, brother, it's going to be a very, very long night. Very, very long night. Frattesi's second striker. Yeah, I mean, we've said this many times. I mean, Frattesi's characteristics clearly indicate that he could play a role higher up the pitch, and it's something that I would be interested in trialing out. But again, with Inzaghi, we know trying different things, it's nothing. It doesn't go anywhere. De Pieri better than Tuchel and Taremi. Again, yeah, they're like something a bit different. Try something different. Try one of these guys. Like what have outside of their wages and their status or reputation. Oh, actually, they don't even have a reputation, do they? Let's just keep it to the two. What is the reason to keep playing Tuchel and Taremi really than De Pieri? I don't see one. Thank you, Lucky53, for becoming a member. Hey, football drawn. Oh God, not sure what's keeping me awake. The win, my septoplasty. I don't know what that means, brother. I'm not smart enough for that word. Hope it actually means something. Otherwise, what was the benefit of winning this tie for losing? Final. Good luck to you guys in the studio. Thank you. He's a Milanista, by the way. Make sure you check out his channel. One of the best channels in terms of football storytelling. Yeah, congrats to you guys. You clearly are our bogey team alongside Bologna this season. You deserve it. You absolutely destroyed us today. Nothing to say on that, but embarrassing from Inter as well. What's up, Nico? Good to see you. Bad loss, guys. Let's forget and move on. But just compare our subs to theirs. Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, you tell a Milanista, ask Milanisti about Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I like Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I liked him before Milan signed him, and I wouldn't mind a profile like him in our team. But ask Milanisti, do they rate Ruben Loftus-Cheek? Not really. And Tammy Abraham, we're the ones that revived him, but he only plays like Didier Drogba against us. Bartezaghi, youth player. Joao Felix, flop signing. Malik Thiaw, he's their kind of B-sec. So nothing that crazy, really, in terms of bench. But yeah, when you compare it to what we brought on, so it's probably about the same, really. Oh God, Belfodil, yeah, Belfodil level is probably accurate. But anyway, guys, as I said, I'm not going to be able to be on for very long. Yeah, no, 100% lucky, 100% focus on Scudetto and UCL. Don't ruin Inzaghi for me. He knew the game was done, period. But yeah, Barella was ass. Yeah, Barella, unfortunately, today was ass. The fact that these players would be really destroyed in 2 months, there's still a random competition. Yeah, as I said, that competition, I would just. Sucic is coming in for that. I don't know if we're able to sign other players for that, but play whatever new players we sign and the youth players in that competition. Do not play the starters, in my opinion. But of course they will, because there's too much money at stake. The mistakes we are due to extreme fatigue and inability of substitutes to properly step up. Yeah, I agree. Lots to play for still, 100%. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, Shane O'Brien, another classy Milanista coming through. Respect to all you, respect for Milanisti in the chat. They also have Emerson Royale. When is he back, by the way, that guy? Lord Emerson Royale. When is he actually coming back? Oh, what a joke. But anyway, I'm going to end it, guys, on, yeah, these are the chances we created. Di Marco hit the crossbar in the first half. Darmian had one before this that probably should have done a bit better. Maybe Denzel would have done better. Lautaro probably should have at least got it on target here. Volley, but he tried to replicate his goal against Bayern. Poor decision, to be honest. He should have done much better there. And then there is the downturn starts. Di Marco, as usual, not blocking across. Not blocking across. And then Bisek and Darmian, or mainly Darmian, lose track of Jovic. And Jovic in the year of the Lord 2025 scores an amazing bullet header. And then Luka Jovic again. Everyone's asleep from the corner. Barella, I don't know what he was doing, kicks the ball into his own hand and then goes to Jovic, sneaks it 2-0. This is probably the only other big chance we had. The right off the corner, amazing save from Magnon. Keeps it 2-0. And then Tijani Reinders, who again is becoming Ruud Gullit when he plays us. 3-0. Embarrassing. Game over. Trouble dream over. Milan on to the final. Hopefully, Bologna beat them. I know you guys donated some money, Shane, but I hope Bologna beat you in the final. Stream title should be cheeks. Yeah. What's up, Nick? After the season, everyone to see Aslani, Mkhitaryan, Frattesi, Correttermin, and Tisha. I'm gonna do that meme, the guy on the tap on the shoulder meme, brother. You are gonna see Mkhitaryan. Actually, probably out of all those guys, probably Mkhitaryan is probably the only one that you'll see. I think Correa definitely leaving. Taremi, hopefully. Frattesi, probably. Aslani, probably. Potentially could happen. But Mkhitaryan, hand on shoulder meme, brother. You're going to be seeing him start again next season. Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you for coming through. I went live for longer than I wanted to, than I said I would, but appreciate you all. Thank you for all the donations and the support. It is what it is. These guys own us for some reason this year. They are the Sassuolo Bologna for us. We go again next year. Hopefully, this was our off year against Milan. And next year, we take revenge again. And hopefully, we can at least dunk on them with a Scudetto. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Ciao ragazzi, always. Even on shitty days like this, where we get dunked on by our cousins. Forza Inter.